I am going to stop your eyeshadow from creasing. Take me seriously. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca. Today we are going to do some eye makeup. It is going to blow your mind. No, I don't know. I'm just trying to hook you. That's what they tell you to do in the in the creator corner of YouTube. They're like, hook your audience. Oh, you think? Okay, because like I don't have one particular routine, but this is the one I will do if I'm like going out or I want it to last a long time. And I really do think that sometimes we have this high expectation. These are slipping. We have this high expectation that we can create this perfect makeup and it's going to last all day and it's going to look amazing and it's just, we're good to go. And you know, makeup isn't Teflon and you are not a robot. So you have to do things to kind of build the palace, the foundation of the mansion in order to get there. And so I'm going to take you through the steps, but don't worry, I'm not going to overly complicate it because I think the days of YouTube, like 2018, we were just, you know, like, oh my gosh, we slap on so much product and we make such a, like a cut crease and we're, you know, we've got the eyebrows and the false lashes, and I'm not going to do that. But I am going to be very thorough and provide you sort of a walkthrough with a lot of steps. So if you're a one and done, you know, I will make a video like that one day. I love these eye thingies, but they're slipping. They were sent to me. Mari is the brand, and they are on Amazon, and they are sort of this marine. They remind me of like Aquamarine, the show with the mermaids, and they're gorgeous, but they're supposed to be like sustainable and marine collagen and vegan and all this good stuff. And honestly, I feel like the ingredients in them are fabulous, but they do slip. So the thing about the eye area, especially as we get older, is, and your eyes are so unusual, right? Like, tell me about it. Are your eyelids oily, but then right here it gets all dry and crepey, but then like right here it's shiny, so you're trying to blot it. So much of our face is dynamic, and especially, you know, when you've got these expression lines that you're trying to maintain from creasing, and it's a lot. And there's a little bit of science, but there's also a little bit of, I don't know, it's kind of like the perfect recipe. So my first thing to do is prep the eye area. And so I love these. I love patches like this. This is fabulous. These are great. And any kind that you like. Pacifica makes the reusable. So does like Dew Skin. On top of that, I always recommend an eye cream. I am loving this Colleen Rothschild. This is a, this has a corrector in it. It's just brightening, you know, whether you have dark under eye, maybe you have a more sallow complexion, maybe your eye area is kind of red and irritated. Any kind of color correcting is good to do, because what you're just going to do, you're just toning the skin. You're toning the eye area so that it is more uniform versus multi, right? Because I've got veins, I've got some redness, I've got gray, I probably have a, you know, an age spot here or there. So you want to just kind of create a more uniform canvas. I definitely recommend an eyeshadow primer. Alter Ego makes a fabulous one, and a lot of drugstore primers are great. So some of my favorites, Milani, number 7, I think CoverGirl and Rimmel, for some reason, those irritate my eyes. Same with Wet n Wild. I don't know why. I don't know why. It can be for, you know, a number of reasons. What the eyeshadow primer is going to do, and why I firmly believe in this. This creates a barrier between the oil production of your eyelids and the product, the makeup, the cosmetic products that you are going to put on from here on out. So whether you put cream on, whether you put powder on, there's not going to be contact with the oils from your eyelids. That's what these are supposed to do. That is what an eyeshadow primer is supposed to do. Another one that's fabulous is the Wander Beauty one. And oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember some of the others. They can really provide kind of a soft, almost a blur effect on the eyelid. So that is your goal. And then feel free to, if you want to put on a little more concealer, color corrector, foundation, you know, whatever it is you want to put on there, that now is your chance. Oftentimes a makeup artist will have something in their palette that is just, you know, a bunch of products, cream products that can be used for all over the face, both concealer and foundation. So a palette like this one from Makeup Forever, what's so perfect about it is that you can use this for covering blemishes. You can use this for your concealer, your eyeshadow, your foundation. I don't mean eyeshadow, but I mean like, see, like I have created a more uniform lid area. I tend to be very careful of an eyeshadow primer or cream base that whites out the eyelid. I think that it gives it too much contrast. So when you're putting on your eyeshadow, you're kind of fighting the, yeah, I feel like that's great for something more dramatic, like, and that's something we learned and adopted from drag performers. Whereas when you look at artistry that's done for like red carpet or maybe even editorials, it isn't as much of a contrast that they're building in with the base product. So I think that's just such a good thing to remember. Also, I forget how much these nails just, still going strong, Glamnetic, still going strong, that these nails are kind of like really making it crazy to blend. Now, whether or not you take a liquid shadow, whether or not you take a powder shadow, sometimes powder on top of liquid works beautifully because the liquid can intensify the powder. Sometimes putting on something that's powder for just something very basic, kind of your almost like your outfit, you know, like this is your blazer and your trousers. That could be your powder eyeshadow. And then on top of that, you can put kind of like a cream, whether it's a sparkle or something metallic or something that is just a little bit more shimmery if you want. And that's like, you know, your accessories. So it's really, there's no right or wrong way. I'm going to show you something very basic, and I've got this Jason Wu palette, both this Brows Before Boys, and this one. I got these at Target. They are matte and they are neutral, and they work perfectly for just your, like I said, you're creating just like that capsule wardrobe here, okay? Yeah. I love a soft fluffy brush. You don't have to spend a lot of money on your eyeshadow brushes. All right, this is definitely my most loved shade in this palette, and I'm using this Unit brush 121 from the Beautylish website. And I like to just sort of gently place my product all over, and I did not powder after the Makeup Forever cream base that I put on. You can if you want to. I find that because I put the eyeshadow primer on first, then I did the cream, that particular texture, that formula, I don't need to powder it as well. If you feel like, oh gosh, this is a wet formula and you want to powder it a little bit, I get that. But for me, that Makeup Forever doesn't come off too kind of like, it doesn't stay damp. And this way, I almost use the shadow as powder, and it's a little bit more intense. Sometimes a powder shadow can be too intense, and then you almost have to do some work, do some engineering to blend out the, you know, the pigmentation. It's like, wait a minute, this is more than I bargained for. Don't think an eyeshadow, just because it's not coming across very pigmented, that it's a dud. Sometimes they can be a little harder in the pan, and it allows for some more blending and room for, you know. So I'm kind of covering all my lid real estate, as I like to say, and I still have parts that need some attention, but I'll get there. I am going to use my Refer. This is the 29. This is a detail brush. It is the tiniest detail brush. And I'm going to put that in this dark shade. And this is just, you know, it's kind of, when I did my little wing it trick from e.l.f., where that brush is so fabulous to use for liner. But I kind of do the same thing with a brush like this. And I just follow the direction and shape of my lower lash line, and I blink it out at the corner. So I'm kind of using, it's not a cat eye in, you know, textbook terms, but it helps me to map out where I want to put my liner. And it's just the perfect little, I watched Sabrina Carpenter's makeup artist do her makeup, and I think it was for the Met, and the first thing she does before, like, I think she does her brows first, and she takes like a shadow and she maps out her flick. And I was like, what? Like, and I thought, I feel so validated. Like, I'm doing something that actual professionals on celebrities do. This side turned out thicker. And I think she even fixed one. Like, she did it and then she didn't like it, and then she went back and she took some remover and then she did it again. And it's like, aha, see? The idea is that if you work out your location, am I even? Something else that's going to really make your eye makeup last longer and look vibrant, intense throughout for hours is some kind of long wear liner. And this one is the Smashbox, and it is the Always Sharp. It comes with an automatic, the cap, when you twist it, sharpens it every use. It's kind of cool. And I find that this one lasts a long time, and it really makes a dramatic lash line. So I'm not going to talk. Remember when I said always breathe, you can blink when you're doing your tight line, your lash line, your waterline, any of that might like tickle or be sensitive. Remember to breathe, and then you will get there. When I raise my eyebrows, I feel like it anchors my lid and I don't feel the need to blink. That's another thing I do. Okay, so what that's done is that's just given my lash base a bit of pigment and a bit of intensity before I've even put on mascara. So it'll just look better because then the shadow doesn't look like it ends before the mascara begins. And I am guilty of not always doing that. Okay. So let's add one more thing to this shadow to give it a little bit more staying power, a little bit more fun. I am obsessed with shadow crayons, and there are a lot I love, truly. And I'm gonna show you because this one's sort of a multi-stick and I do love it. It's the Jumbo from NYX, and this particular flavor shade, I think it's Pound Cake. It's something like that. And I like this because you can actually use this as highlighter if you wanted to, but I love applying this in the corner. Now you could have used this besides instead of powder shadow if you wanted to for like a one and done. But for me, having that little inner corner highlight, and this formula doesn't crease and it doesn't fade and it doesn't get like weird and gummy. So I really, really like it. And this way my shadow is going to look pretty good for many hours. So I'm really enjoying this Essence Lash Primer. Normally I don't do lash primers, you know? And this time I really like it. One more thing, CoverGirl mascara is my favorite. I definitely want to put more mascara on. I'm going to comb through my lashes, and I'm also going to do a little, so I love this lift and snatch for my eyebrows. One of my favorite things to do is take this, a brow powder, believe it or not, that isn't very dark, isn't very light, and just a shadow brush. This happens to be a Kokie shadow brush. Now what I'm gonna do is make sure my mascara is dry before I do this, but I am going to just sort of give myself a little contour right here, and this is going to add a little dimension, especially if you have a hooded lid, and it might even just add a little more to your staying power to your shadow. Okay, so what to do if some color, some mascara or product has transferred. Take any kind of like Q-tip. You can even take a spoolie, a clean spoolie, and anything that is dried, just flick off. You can even take like Real Techniques microfiber. They have some microfiber Q-tips. Sometimes after this is the L'Oreal, the Panorama mascara. Sometimes after I take a Q-tip and clean off, I kind of, if I bump some lashes and then they kind of stick together, I just get a little bit on the ends to sort of nudge them outward. All right, so we have finished the eye makeup. I'm gonna just do a full face and come right back and give you any notes. I'm back, full face, and wow, I'm actually really, really happy with everything and my eyeshadow. I mean, I like what I did. I am going to go in with more shadow under my eye area. And the way I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna just take this LA Colors one, and I'm gonna put it back in that Jason Wu, that shade that I seem to use and love so much. And I am going to do this. I like eyeshadow along my lower lash lid way more than I do any other eye product. And sometimes I use like a shadow crayon, but most of the time I've either completely ignored it or it's this. And then you can always take another brush, whether it's clean or you just know there's not a lot of product on it, and just sort of be careful not to go like this. Don't flick the shadow you want to use on your lower lash line, don't flick it this way because you might find it here. Trust me, I know this from experience. I always flick out or blend out. So yeah. But your shadow should stay put. Yes, it was a lot of steps, but when you incorporate elements like primer, eyeshadow primer, some kind of powder shadow or some kind of cream shadow, and you're layering, or you're just doing at least one thing to keep from the shadow situation from blending with the oils of your own skin, you are going to see longer lasting makeup and shadow. And also, if you are only using cream products on your lids, I recommend doing a light dusting of some translucent powder just here, because your mascara will probably, you won't even know it, but it's going to transfer onto the tips of your lashes from the cream product, and you might see smudging of your mascara. And it's not the mascara's fault, it's because you're wearing a cream shadow. And you think, oh, my eyelashes aren't that long, they're not hitting my eyelids. You'd be surprised. So there you are, and I am going to hopefully remember to list everything in the description box. If you have any questions, let me know. I am so appreciative of your viewership. I hope that you can click on the subscribe button. It's free. I don't do anything special, fancy, paid, or anything for my channel. So just you subscribing, commenting, watching is so much, means a lot to me. And thank you. Till next time, I'll see you later. Bye.